All right, last of the 1 o'clock games here. Green Bay Packers 18, New Orleans Saints 17. Both teams 2-1 now. Saints held a 17-0 lead heading into the fourth quarter, and then the Packers do the rest of the scoring. They kick a field goal to make it 17-3, and then the big one that the yelling shows might not be talking about today. The move by Matt LaFleur. They score a touchdown to make it 17-9, and they go for two to make it 17-11, and that ends up being the difference in the game. Oh, there's one more 1 o'clock game, by the way. The difference in the game, 17-11. Packers score another touchdown to go up, kick the extra point to go up 18-17. So Matt LaFleur's decision to go for two in the traditional go for one situation ends up being the difference in the game for the Packers. Great comeback here. Derek Carr gets injured for the New Orleans Saints. It's no break, I don't believe, but AC joint. Got
driven into the not the turf, the grass, which apparently is a big thing in this injury.
That it's
if
grass?
If he'd been driven into turf, well, then it would have been broken and shattered to smithereens. But it was grass, so it did,
Is that what people are saying?
Yeah. The Saints, I think, are saying that. Thank God this happened on grass. If it had happened on turf, the man would have no shoulder left.
I don't want to get into the grass first turf. I don't have a dog in the fight. I just know some of the football games over the years when it's a little muddy on the grass are so bad and ugly. Why does the NFL want turf? Because there's more points. It's easier to score generally on turf. Like, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Also, the turf now, whatever, I'm not getting into it. The turf now is not artificial turf from the Astrodome.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
And honestly,
but either way, I'm glad there's not a break, and I'm glad that Derek Carr might be able to come back here in a couple
Everyone
weeks.
wants grass in every game until you see what that looks like, And there are games where when grass is down and it's weather or whatever, it's not great. I mean, this game, Jordan Love almost lost his ACL and a groin by slipping on the grass in this game and, doing the splits and,
That was one of the worst plays I've ever seen in an NFL game.
It was bad. But also, to him getting out of that without injuring something was pretty miraculous. That was because of the grass, right? The Super Bowl was just an entire game of people slipping on their ass because of the grass. It's not all it's cracked up to be all the time. But apparently, it's a significant part of Derek Carr still having a shoulder, if you listen to certain people. This was a sort of Jordan Love come down to earth game a little bit. He hadn't had an interception yet, although that wasn't necessarily due to being particularly careful with the football heading into this game. Finally had one, and still wasn't tremendously careful with the football. Also, for the second time, at least, missed a wide-open Luke Musgrave for what should have been a touchdown. Just open up the seam, overthrew him by quite a significant margin. I think that would have been a touchdown. It certainly would have been a monstrous play.
I was waiting for some kind of Packers fan to give me the Steve before tweet and after tweet stats for Jordan Love, because the stats aren't even that great because he still missed a ton of throws, but I did tweet out his accuracy is he's got some wild misses. I mean, just some really bad misses. But man, I was impressed with just the Packers as a whole, how they handled the fourth quarter. Love had his two big-time throws in the last 16 or so minutes of the game. Throws a beauty down the sideline to Romeo Doubs, a beauty up the other sideline to Jaden Reed that put them into scoring position. Romeo Doubs with the back shoulder. Was that the game-winning touchdown or the first touchdown? Love and the Packers played much better down the stretch. His inconsistency early on, though, it was like, hey, when there's not a tap pass and a wide-open pass in the flat that are easy touchdowns, helping the stats, you do come back down to earth statistically. I don't think Love played that differently in this game than he did in the first two. He just didn't have the stat patterns that he had in some of those first couple games.
I mean, I think you see just how fine the margins are in the NFL. Like, if you're going to miss what is effectively a touchdown up the seam to a tight end early in the game, that's 7 points that should be on the board. And if it's a low-scoring game, immediately you're in trouble because you just passed up the difference between winning and losing because you missed a guy who was an open target. You just missed. You missed by 5 yards a target that you should be hitting as an NFL quarterback. So, if you're going to be a quarterback like Jordan Love, who so far every piece of evidence we have on him says he's going to be an inaccurate, inconsistent quarterback on, over any extended period of sample size. He's just not the most accurate quarterback in the world. Which means you're going to have to do some special things because you're going to miss throws like that, which in this particular instance was worth 7 points, but generally speaking, it's going to be a high EPA type of play. And he's going to miss some of those that other guys don't, which means he needs to find that extra EPA somewhere else. And that's the battle that a guy like that has. Like, it's very easy to be an efficient, good quarterback if you're very accurate because you're going to take every opportunity that's there. If you're going to miss some opportunities to come up, you need to find a way of getting that back elsewhere, and that just puts you under pressure. So, Jordan Love was able to come out of it in this game and able to dig that back, but to an extent, it was a hole of his own creation.
So Packers deserve credit for keeping it close, allowing the offense to make that comeback. I also, look, Derek Carr, I know he got hurt and everything. I talked about the red zone woes for the Saints coming into this game. It happened again, man. I mean, Rashid Shaheed has a punt return for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. The Saints offense only puts up 10 points. Chris Olave is doing what he can, man. I mean, he had a big catch on the comeback attempt. They also missed a field goal to win it, right?
Right.
Jameis Winston hits Olave for the 28-yarder. But before all this happened, Derek Carr, he had a passing grade of 28 in the red zone once again. And now through 3 weeks, in the red zone, he's 5 for 17 with a 37 PFF pass grade. That's worse than every quarterback in the NFL. The worst red zone passing grades: Derek Carr, Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Josh Dobbs, Bryce Young, Sam Howell. I mean, it is a rough group. And that's been, to me, that's the story. I think the Saints, they have points that they could put on the board. They have opportunities. I know the offensive line's been inconsistent, and you want blame the offensive line for Carr getting hurt or whatever, but they played a lot better, I think, overall in this game than they did the previous two. They've got playmakers, man, and they just can't put enough points on the board. They have opportunities, though.
The other dynamic is New Orleans' defensive line has been pretty decent this year so far. The Green Bay Packers have that thing. The way everyone gives the Steelers credit for being able to just pick a wide receiver in the draft at random and that guy's going to be amazing? The Packers seem to have that when it comes to offensive linemen. No David Bakhtiari again. So Rasheed Walker is playing. Zach Tom is one starter at the other tackle spot. Josh Myers, Royce Newman, John Runyon. That's their 5 on the offensive line, and they allowed almost nothing in the entire game. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, you could say the same thing about the Packers receivers, and that's what I think makes them so intriguing as a team. They're going to be playing the Lions this Thursday night, 2-1 versus 2-1 for first place in the NFC North. But the Packers receivers of second-year Dobbs and rookie Jaden Reed and rookie Luke Musgrave and rookie Dontavian Wicks, and those are their receivers this week. So,
and it's not like they're playing with a quarterback who's getting the ball out of his hands like immediately to make sure that the offensive line doesn't give any pressure. Like Jordan Love is skewing towards the slow end of the spectrum, not the fast end, and yet they're still not giving up pressure.
So credit to the Packers. The Saints did get in position for the game-winning. Was it a 48-yarder? So I don't want to completely change. Look, the Packers won, but it was a close game. It was one of those toss-outs. I don't know what the expected score was. Probably 18-18. Probably 17-17 was the expected score. But here's the deal, man. Matt LaFleur made a decision that won the game for the Packers. It wasn't reckless. It wasn't weird. It wasn't crazy. It won the game for the Packers. Going for 2 to make it 17-11, and that's what put the Packers over the top here. So a game management decision leading to a win for the Packers. That's the difference between 2-1 and 1-2, plus a missed field goal. That helps as well.
Yeah.